Welcome to Make the Grade with the success doctor, Stephen Green, where you'll discover actionable strategies to help your student to reach their academic goals, to excel at standardized testing, and to plan for the college admissions process painlessly. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Green.
Hey everyone, Steve Green, host of the Make the Grade podcast. You know why we're here? I'm going to give you some actions, some hands-on things that you can use to accelerate your journey to success. So if you are a parent of a student in maybe middle school or high school or college, or an entrepreneur, and you want to learn some ways that you can accelerate your journey to success, you have come to the right place. So hope you got your pencils, your pens, your pads, your tablets, whatever you use to take notes or whatever, because I have a fantastic guest today. Fantastic guest. Let's say hello to Lorie Wu. Lorie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am awesome. Awesomeness.
Thank you for
having me. It's like super cold out where I am today. Lorie's in the desert in Las Vegas, but it gets a little cold there, but I'm in the Northeast, so I don't like cold weather. Everybody knows that who listens to my podcast. I complain about it as much as anything else, but I'm not going to complain about that today because I'm excited about the conversation we're going to have. So let's talk about Lorie for a second. Lorie is the CEO, El Jefe of Reset Your Mind 1111. Lorie Wu, she's an intensive breakthrough and NLP mindset coach, master certified in NLP, and you can explain to people what that is if they don't know. Timeline therapy, hypnotherapy, and she resides in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. They still call it that, Sin City?
Yes, they do.
Okay, yeah, they do. All right. Lorie is a heart-centered entrepreneur. She's a light worker who is highly intuitive, empathic, and passionate about fulfilling her life purpose of helping transform people's lives all over the world. Primarily helps self-sabotagers and overthinkers who lack purpose break through the shackles of their past, leap forward with balance in their body, mind, and spirit, and gain the clarity and confidence to achieve what they truly want. She has clients, get this, all over USA, UK, Canada, Philippines, and the land down under Australia. It's gotten quick, long-lasting, life-changing results in one-on-one breakthrough sessions. She's excited about what the future holds and believes everyone has the power to do what they set their mind to do and deserves to live a happy, fulfilled life where their past does not define them and the possibilities are endless. I love it. So Lorie Wu, officially welcome to the Make the Grade podcast.
Thank you.
So just to be clear, because there's a few things that maybe were in your bio. Define NLP. I know what it is, but maybe not everybody does. So quick definition. What I know it stands for neuro-linguistic, but you can, how about you explain it?
Yeah, a simple definition. It's a way to improve or use different communication skills to help you change your thoughts, emotions, and actions, which is really your mindset. And it's a way of modeling excellence because people, have different learning skills, different communication skills, listening styles, but they don't know how to actually put it all together and not let their past define them without it.
So neuro-linguistic practicing, practice?
Program.
There you go. So yeah, she's right. I think her summary was very accurate. It's about partly how you communicate, how you interact with other people. Because in a way, life is about relationships and communicating, right? Mm-hmm. So Lorie's kind of young. Maybe she could be my daughter. I don't know. I don't want to ask how old you are, but you got a lot of experience. You're trained in a lot of really good things. What motivated you? What did you wake up one day and say, I want to help people? Was this your life's dream?
Well,
or did you have some epiphany? How'd you get to this point?
Yeah, great question, Steve. When I was in college, after graduating high school, my parents wanted me to go to community college instead of going away to school. And I took about every psychology class there was. And during that time, I figured out that my purpose was to help people and really wanting to make a difference and impact in the world. Nice. Unfortunately, parents did not want me to study psychology. That's another story for another time.
What kind of job you're going to get, business psychologist?
Well, funny story. My dad said, "Oh, you're gonna come to work with me and meet my secretary. She's got her master's and her PhD in psychology, but she's my secretary. So you're not studying psychology."
It's slightly more marketable than like Hellenic studies or something. But,
Right.
but listen, you're talking to another psych major, so we're kindred spirits this way. But anyway, go on. So you're in college, you're learning a lot of psychology.
Yeah, and that's really when I discovered my purpose. However, because my parents were pretty, I'm half Filipino, half Chinese, and overprotective parents, And so I did what my mom wanted me to do, which was study pharmacy, because she was a nurse all her life. And she said, oh, if I had to do it all over again, I would do pharmacy. So I was a pharmacy tech. That's a little bit of my background for a little over 10 years. Then I became a solopreneur, helping other people with legal and identity theft services in my other business. However, when COVID hit in March of 2020, when it started becoming prevalent, I found myself in a downward spiral a little bit in my business with the legal and identity theft services, because people lost their job or people went out of business. And I really took the time to pause and evaluate on what was going on with me. And I reflected on a lot of things, decided, you know what, I've always wanted to do something psychology related. And found myself procrastinating and not as motivated in that other business. And I'm like, okay, you know what, this is a chance to actually figure out, what do I really want to do? Do I want to keep doing this for the rest of my life? And I think a lot of people contemplate that, but they don't really take the time to figure out, okay, you know what, am I fulfilling my purpose? Am I doing something that I love doing? I was taught to, I think a lot of people were taught to go to school, get good grades, get a job and retire, right? But
that's kind of the American dream in a certain lane, as it were.
Right. But that's not really as practical as it was maybe 20 years ago. So for me, I was asked the question, it's like, okay, you know what, if I'm not as motivated, I'm procrastinating, I'm overthinking things, like there must be something wrong with me, or this is what I'm programmed to think. And I was looking for something different to fill a void. And I figured, okay, you know what, my original purpose was to help other people, but I'm not totally feeling fulfilled in my current business. What else can I do?
Question number one for you. It's a provocative name. Reset your mind. Is it 1111 or 1111 or 1,000, 1101?
It's 11.
So there's got to be a story behind it. But before you get into that, can you explain, or at least maybe shortly comment on who you can help? Because a lot of people listen to this, they're parents with kids, and I'm a parent. It's not always easy. It's fulfilling, but it's not always easy. And I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and there's a lot of struggles in there. And a lot of times people say, well, why am I doing this? Why did I have kids? Can't put them back. Doesn't come with a manual. A lot of stereotypes, but it's a challenge. And I think the positives outweigh the negatives for sure. And in business, same thing. People wake up, oh my God, I got all this guy to do. I don't know if I'm going to make it. Am I making enough money? And that clients. So, people question that a lot. But so who can you help, or who do you work with? And two, tell us the story behind the name, if there is one.
Yes. So I mainly focus on people who don't know how to get out of their own way, which is a form of self-sabotage.
It's like 3/4 of the world.
People.
Sorry for the editorial
It's
comment.
so true, though. People who overthink, people who procrastinate. I mean, these are all forms of self-sabotage that I'm going to mention. Maybe they're in an unhealthy relationship. Maybe they don't know how to get out of their own way because they've been programmed to believe that they're not good enough. It only takes one person, to say, oh, you're not worthy or you're not good enough. And they lack the confidence and the clarity, and they're not sure what their purpose is. So somebody who maybe like suffered from past trauma, past abuse, still dealing with that. Somebody who wants to be a high achiever, maybe set their goals and have not achieved them and not sure why, whether that be in health, relationship, finance, career, whatever it may be. But I do provide life-changing breakthrough sessions with them, which is one-on-one coaching, because using hypnotherapy and timeline therapy, really. But it's people who really want, one, clarity of purpose, two, confidence, and to believe in themselves again and say, okay, you know what do I really want for me?
before we get to the name,
Mhm.
is the therapy,
Mhm.
I'm using that term in context because if somebody's like a clinical psychologist, they're going to use the term differently.
Mhm.
Is the therapy similar to, regardless of what somebody's challenges are, what they kind of bring to the session, as it were, or does it vary depending on what, like if somebody's going through a divorce, for say, and they're very upset about it, is that a different approach that you might take than, say, if somebody is struggling, I don't know, in their job and they're unhappy in their job?
For the most
Or
part,
is unhappiness? I mean, it's just the same, different manifestation. So
unhappiness. However, it can be tailored to the person. There's the main program is helping somebody release negative emotions and the impact of it, and also limiting beliefs. There are some times where, obviously people have multiple problems like that are related to the context of what they're wanting, what their challenge is in, right? So somebody could come to me and say, hey, you know what, I am struggling. I just had in a toxic, unhealthy relationship, or I just got out of one, not sure how to do that. Or they can come to me with a health issue, and say, hey, you know what, it's like I've not been struggling on and off with my weight and being healthy overall, and I don't know why I'm not getting the results that I want. And same thing with career. It's like it could be somebody who's struggling financially or struggling to, they're unhappy at their job and they want to start their own business and they're not sure how to do that or how to even, where to even begin, right? But I say that to say it is pretty similar along the whole, no matter what context or area of life they want to overcome challenges in, because it's about your mindset. And it's about limiting beliefs that you've been programmed to believe that you're not sure why. I know a lot of other colleagues, and this is true for me, where it's like I was struggling in my other business, and I had to come to a realization like, okay, you know what, why am I, I'm following all the things that my mentors and coaches in that business told me to do, and I'm not happy where I'm at. I'm not reaching the goals, or, that, it's not as far as I want to be, and I had to figure out why. And it's me getting in my own way. It was a lack of self-confidence, or it was a lack of thinking that, okay, maybe I don't deserve to be at the top, or I'm afraid of success. People say they're afraid of success. Some people are afraid of failure. So we eliminate like all the fears and then the past trauma or negative emotions that affect, their future, and hold them back.
So reset your mind. 1111.
Yes. 1111.
Born.
Yes.
1111. I know for some people, like 11 is like a spiritual number. I'm not really sure why it is. Maybe I just never knew. So tell us about how this came to be. Was it was it like an epiphany? Like one day you woke up and was like, I got to do this, or was it a slow, an evolution of things over time?
It was kind of trusting my unconscious mind to come up with a name. One day, because I was struggling when I first decided, okay, you know what, I'm going to do this breakthrough coaching business and I want to do it, but I need to name my business. I didn't want it to just be Lorie Wu coaching, right? And because we work so much with reprogramming the mind and changing the mindset, I was like, okay, you know what, not sure what to name it. It's like, and we tap into the subconscious or unconscious mind a lot, and that's the difference between traditional therapy and what I do. And basically it's reprogramming, rewriting the stories that you've been programmed to believe and that you think are true, but they're not. So I was like, you know what, let's reset somebody's mind and say, okay, you know what, because I honestly believe, one, that everybody's here for a purpose. Two, everybody has the power to set, to do the things that they set their mind to do. And it's all about resetting their mindset and visualizing things in a way that so that they can picture it as if they already have it. And the 1111, it is a spiritual number for me. It's part of my journey, but it's all about things coming into alignment. I'm a strong believer in the law of attraction and manifesting things. And it all goes hand in hand with things being in perfect alignment in order to have a better chance at coming to fruition. Obviously you still have to take the action, of course, but
it should be that simple.
Yeah.
Hey, my guest is Lorie Wu. Her business is Reset Your Mind 1111. She is kind of a transformational coach. We're talking about ways that you can break through. This is the Make the Grade podcast. We're all about providing you with actions and strategies that you can use to get you next level, accelerate your journey to success, without violating anybody's confidentiality. Can you share maybe a case study of a person that maybe you worked with, where they were, and you don't have to get too deep into the therapy, but what the results were?
Absolutely. So I have a good friend who's here who had a lot of abuse growing up. She's a niece of one of my good friends that I used to know for probably over like 15 years. And she had the history of being abused as sexual abuse as a child. Her parents were married, divorced, moved forward. And she on and off like had PTSD, anger, anxiety, depression, you name it, she went through it. And she had gone to years of therapy, but didn't realize, how much it was still affecting her. And one of the biggest breakthroughs that we had with her was that, she's got weight issues for her health. She's got, she doesn't have like a whole bunch of health issues, but she's been trying to lose weight, yo-yo dieting and different things. And also trying to better herself with a new job or a better job. So overall, like she had a lot of things going on. But the biggest thing that was holding her back from moving forward was being able to resolve the conflict between her and her dad, her biological father, who actually abused her. And she didn't realize, or he didn't realize how much of an impact it was still having on her. This was years ago, right?
Can I ask how old this person is?
She is 32 or 31.
So she's an adult.
She's definitely an adult.
Okay.
And the abuse happened well over, when she was a
So
child.
there was, right. So probably the damage was done when she was probably 10, like 12, 15, whatever. Yeah. So this is 15 years later or more. And she's still carrying this with her in a very self-destructive way.
Yes. And it was to a point where she was suicidal at one point. She was cutting herself, doing different things. And it's affected her current relationship. And so she was part of my initial 6-week coaching program that I had. And one of the biggest things that she finally admitted to me was that she was making some progress in her health challenges and different things, but she relapsed and started cutting herself again because she got into a huge fight in her relationship. And it stemmed from the whole stigma of having the mental illness of being, having the anxiety and the depression. And we looked at the root. We were always about looking at the root cause of that and not just putting a Band-Aid on something, right? So we figured that
treat the disease, not the symptom.
Yeah. And we figured out it was because she still had some anger and resentment towards, the person who abused her. And she's been wanting to have this conversation with him, but she's been deathly afraid of it because she didn't know how, this is years later, if he's even going to acknowledge it, if he's going to admit to it. She had all these fears going through her head. Wow. So there's one technique that is really good for doing conflict resolution. So I took her through this process where she was able to actually look at herself in the picture, the abuser in the picture, and then almost like a triangle. And at the top, the third position is looking at it from the outside and looking at both people, as if the conversation was really happening, all the things that she wanted to say to him, all the things that, like, seeing his point of view as well, and not holding on to that anger, resentment, and wanting to, ask ask him to, to resolve it. Right.
Now this was all addressed in a 6-week period.
Yeah.
So this is a lot of self-work or sort of, what do they call it? Kind of guided self-work.
Yes.
In a short amount of time. This is a lot for somebody to unravel.
Yes.
15, 20 years of hidden kind of self, whatever internalization.
Yes.
To bring out in a short period of time. So what is there a happy ending here? Hopefully.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So after taking her through that process, we always start with working through the major negative emotions of anger, sadness, hurt, guilt, shame, and fear. Right.
Yep.
Then we work on limiting beliefs that she has about herself, her self-worth, confidence, lack of, but the biggest thing for that conflict resolution, after taking her through that process, after, having her go through the different positions of that, it's called perceptual positions. And she was able, after that, I told her, I'm like, okay, you know what? You've been wanting to have this conversation. You're about to go visit him in a couple of weeks. I want you to do this exercise, with me right now, but I also want you afterwards to go ahead and write out all the things that you've ever wanted to say to him. Imagine yourself actually and visualize you having the conversation going the way you want it to go. And that way, because I knew you have no clue how the other person is going to react, right? But you have a better chance of visualizing it and directing it like the way you want it to go. And, the worst case scenario was that he was going to interrupt her and not allow her to read the letter. So I had her write a letter to him, expressing all the things that she wanted to say. And so that when she did have the conversation, she could actually go and talk to him and allow her to express all the things so that, she can just get one reaction and let it all out. Right. So very healing.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Very healing process. And so she messaged me like the day after she had the conversation, and it went better than she ever expected. So all these things that she was holding on to, thinking, oh my God, he's going to react this way. He's not going to understand. He's not, that she's been carrying for like years, all like the whole burden like lifted, and she got the outcome that she wanted. He was like, oh my God, I didn't realize, the impact that it was still having on your entire life and holding you back. Please forgive me. And, let's have a healthier relationship between each other, and move forward. It's like, if there's anything you need, it's like, let me know. And, cause her parents got divorced after, I don't know how many years, but like they both, they both remarried and moved on. So she's got healthier relationships with both of them. And then she was able to actually have better health improvements with losing weight and moving forward with her diet. And she also got a promotion and got a new job that she's been applying to for a whole year. And so she actually ends up getting the higher promotion job a few weeks later. So it's all amazing.
One more quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this kind of intensive period of time.
Mm-hmm.
What happens after that? Is there a follow-up?
There's ongoing support that they can,
okay.
They can reach out for ongoing support. If they do a 2-day breakthrough, there's up to 3 to 6 months of support, depending on what else is going on. They can always, obviously after this intense change work that we're doing, everything rearranges in your life after we work on also setting new goals. Whatever changes they want, it's all about what the focus though is on what they truly want, because a lot of times we focus on what we don't want, or we get so caught up in helping people instead of helping ourselves first. The important thing is to focus on what do we want for ourselves before anybody else.
Lorie, how would people reach you? Somebody wants to get a hold of you. Email? What do you want to share with the audience here?
They can out me on Facebook. They can look me up, Lorie Wu, WU, or they can send an email to resetyourmind1111@gmail.com.
There's that 1111 again. It's beautiful. Yep. Yes.
And I do have a Facebook group. If they want to find me, it's Soul, SOUL dash like solutions, but with soul at the beginning. So solutions for self-sabotagers.
Anything in particular you want to plug, or I know you have a group. You have your community, right?
Right.
So from what I understand, somebody could come to your website, they could join your free group, they can get an ebook or whatever, learn about what you're doing.
There's a free ebook that I promote. I'm in the process of writing a second one and creating a new program that I'm about to launch in February. I will be doing a free in February.
Listen, if you need a referral, I know somebody helps people create courses. Wink, wink. Hey, Steve Green, the Make the Grade podcast. My guest, Lorie Wu. We're talking about how to help yourself If you can't help yourself, it's hard to help others, and it's hard to really get where you want to get. This is all about providing actions. If you want to get with Lorie, you've got her contact information. Reset Your Mind 1111. It sounds like a great thing. Lorie, is there anything we did not get into or you want to share really quickly before we move on to our last segment here?
I did want to give them, if I had to give somebody advice or a tip, like to start living their best life now. You know, life is short. We've all gone through, you know, some hard times here the last couple of years with what's going on with the pandemic, right?
Yes, we have. We've talked about that a little bit. Yeah. Not today. I mean, just over the last year and a half,
right?
Almost 2 years, almost 24 months. Yeah.
And I encourage people to, you know, it's one thing to take care of yourself and focus on self-care. But what I realized, a huge aha moment and lesson for me, is that you need to recharge yourself and recharge your batteries every day. So what it's called, having a ritual to start your day off right, of having like an overflowing cup of personal power in order
I like that.
Other people.
Overflowing cup
to it, right? So one thing, here's a good tip for anybody out there who's wanting to create their own personal power ritual. It's all about doing 3 different parts. One, which is, you know, since everything's energy, the first part is movement. So some sort of exercise. It could be taking a walk, it could be yoga, it could be stretching, it could be something simple, but just to get the blood flowing and your oxygen moving. You know, it could be whatever for at least a minimum of like 10 minutes, right? And then
got it. Number 1, movement.
Step 2 would be recharging your mind. So recharging your mind could be actually
meditating. Something like that.
Meditating. It could be reading personal development book for like a good 10 minutes. And then the third part is recharging emotionally. So recharging emotionally would be listening to like 3 like good songs, you know, 3 like things that are going to uplift you. It could also be doing a gratitude journal, writing down the things that you're grateful for. But it really, each one, the max time for that would be good would be an hour. But if you could do each of these steps for a good, you know, like 20 minutes each, that would be ideal. But let's say somebody's really busy and they don't, you know, have the time, or they want to start off initially, they could do 30 minutes. I would do 10 minutes of each at least. But it really helps you focus and start your day off better.
So movement, mental, emotional.
Yes.
It's all about balance at some point, right?
Yes.
Lorie Wu, thank you. This was great. Give everybody your email or your site. Give it one more time. Then we're going to close up here. We're going to do something fun.
Yep. Reset Your Mind 1111 at gmail.com, or you can find me under Lorie Wu on Facebook, and look for my solutions for self-sabotagers group.
All right. So do you want to play everybody's favorite Make the Right podcast guest game?
Sure.
All right. There you go. This is called your Fave 5.
Okay.
Fave 5. Here's what I'm going to do. It's easy. It's easy. Just relax. Take a breath. Mental, emotional recharge here. I'm going to say something. You tell me what your favorite thing is within the category. Okay.
Awesome.
Start off with an easy one. Color.
Purple.
Purple. Nice. That's the high energy vibration color. Right? Bucket list item.
Bucket list item. I've always wanted to go to Italy.
Italy. Nice. Molto bene. It's beautiful. I've been there. It's really nice. The food there, Italian food in Italy, unbelievable.
Awesome.
I mean, not that there isn't good food everywhere, but Italian food in Italy is just oh my God. I would be molto grosso if I lived there. Yeah, I would not. I need some consulting for my health. Well, it leads us to the next one. Food. Favorite kind of food.
Food. Okay, so this one is debatable. This one I would say Thai food.
Thai food. Nice. Asian. You want to put another one in there? I'll give you.
I was gonna say it's a toss up between Thai food and what's called hot pot, which is making your own.
I love hot pot, man. They have a great place right near me that does them.
Yes, creating your own soup with veggies.
Oh man, they got one of those places in Vegas.
Oh, they have tons of them. Yes.
The hot pot places. So I'm going to be out in Vegas in June. We got to go to one.
We definitely.
I love the hot pot. I love it.
Have you ever seen one that's part grill and part soup?
Really? No, the one I have is like this. Just so people don't know what the heck we're talking about. It's like an Asian kind of thing, right? But instead of cooking it, what they do is they bring this bowl out that's like 600 degrees. It's like this, I don't know what it's made out of, clay, or I don't even know what it's made out of. And so everything's kind of in it, and it's like sizzling. And then they stir it around. I love hot food. So I put a lot of hot sauce in, and it's like rice and vegetables and your protein you want. Like some people get meat. I get sometimes fish or tofu or vegetables, whatever. It's really, really good. Really good. Maybe not as good as Italian food in Italy, but really good.
We'll have to go to the one that has part grill and part hot pot.
All right. You make the reservation. I'm going to be there. I think it's June 8th. Just off the record. Okay. Favorite place to vacation? Well, you already said Italy, but your vacation. Hawaii.
So my favorite island is Maui. I'm looking forward to going back.
I think that's probably a long list. A lot of people say that. It is really nice there. Beautiful. Yeah. Especially the West Coast. Did you do the Hana Road? You must have if you've been there. Yeah. You know what happened was we had a rental car. We do the Hana Road, and it's like much faster if you keep going around the island. But there's like this sign in the rental car. If you go to Hana and you go back the long way, like in other words, I guess it's like the southwest tip, and you break down, you got to push the car. Like it's like don't call us and say our car broke down. So we're there, and I'm like, should we do it or not? Like, deep down, I'm a rule follower kind of guy.
Yeah.
You better turn around. Yeah. Music. You like music?
Music. I do. I love music.
Favorite artist, favorite genre?
I would say the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, song. Can you pick an 80s? I'm thinking 80s and 90s. I'm thinking like girls just want to have fun.
Yeah, or like I guess my
you're
favorite.
Like more the rock, like Scorpions kind of thing.
Journey.
Journey. All right, there you go. A little more poppy stuff.
Yeah, and then of course I'm still into the boy bands.
Or like
New Kids on the Block and sing.
Oh man, that's you're serious. Teeny bopper boy bands.
Yeah,
my sister was into that, so I heard enough of that.
That's what I grew up on.
Let me see if I can do one more here. We got a bonus one.
Nice.
Well, you live in a vacation spot, so I guess that's kind of a very good question. What kind of weather you like? What kind of season? What's your favorite season?
My favorite season, I would say fall.
Nice.
Yeah, summer it gets a little too hot.
Well, where you live, it does like 1,000 degrees. There you go. Hey, here's the toughest question of all. What's your favorite podcast?
This one right here.
There you go. Correct answer. All right, Lorie Wu, I really appreciate it. I know we ended on kind of a light mood here, but what she's working on is pretty heavy stuff, and it's serious. And I think the key story, the case study she shared, a person who was burdened with self-doubt, pain for years, half her life almost, right? Was able to have a big breakthrough, help herself, cleanse herself of all kinds of negativity, and came out the other end in a matter of weeks. And obviously some work. This isn't like, a magic bullet, but it can be done with the right technique and the right focus. And, that's Lorie's role. So I applaud you for the help that you're giving people.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, this is the Make the Grade podcast, and we are going to sign off for this week. This is all about giving you actions, things to help you accelerate your journey to success, or people especially if you're a parent with kids. I'm always looking for guests. You got something to say? Reach out. Let me know. Also, the best way people can thank me for doing this podcast, and it's not doing this for my ego, is to share what we got going on. I gotta think there are plenty of people that be helped by what Lorie can provide. This is a tough stretch we're in. A lot of anxiety, a lot of emotional stuff, mental health, all that stuff. It doesn't take a lot to just reach out and say, hey, look, what's going on here, and decide if what she's doing is right for you. So do yourself a favor, take advantage of this, and you do your best thing. Let me cue the music.
Thank you.
All right, Lorie, thanks again.
Thank you.
I will see everybody next time.
All right.
You've been listening to Make the Grade with the Success Doctor, Stephen Green. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe. For more resources and support, please visit makethegrade.net.